Welcome to What's New in Drawings for Fusion 360. This is the sixth video in this series. We did a couple on sketching and modeling, did one on sculpting, did one on sheet metal, and then the last one was this long one on assemblies. So, time to jump into 2D drawings. As stated earlier, I have been on a 12-month holiday break from Fusion 360, and it's time to catch up on all the awesome work by the development team. But I'm going to slow down, I'm going to take it easy, make sure no man or woman is left behind. So, with that, let's do some 2D. Hello everyone, my name is Lars Christensen, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. So, as stated earlier, we're going to kind of catch up on all these goodies that the development team have been working on the last 12 months or so. Because let's be honest, unless you are a super user, you probably have missed a few of these or maybe even wondered why the heck you would use them. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. If you don't, that's okay. Give it a thumbs down. Leave me a comment, and I've also added down in the description area a new way you and I can connect with some email. Introduce yourself, share some work. Maybe I can try to answer a question you have. Whatever. With that, let's get into 2D. All right, so we are going to pick up from kind of where we were last week with this guitar stool of mine that I put together last week when we were talking about assemblies. And I'm just going to run quickly through some of these new things and kind of give you hopefully some ideas how to use these new functions. So the first one, if we hit the drop down, you will see that we can create drawings, but what is new in here is they've also made the drawing templates easier to access. So a drawing template will let us insert a part or an assembly into a drawing where we've specified the different views. Let me show you. So I'm going to click on a new drawing template, and I'm just going to select an ISO from scratch, hit OK, and while that is firing up, we are getting a kind of from scratch, but what I'm getting on my mouse here is a representation of our model, whatever model we decide to use. So for example, I can go over here and I'm just going to place this base view here, and maybe I hit OK to that, and we can create a projected view from that there. We can create one in isometric view, and you can kind of see these blocks are just representation, nothing fancy. We might also go over here and create some text. That is pretty common that companies have, standardized text they're putting in here. So let me just paste some in there, like that. That is kind of a pretty standard text. Maybe we add a part list in here, like that there. So with that, and we could also create edit the title block, but I'm going to come back to that. So with that here, I'm going to just save this template here, and let's just give it a name. And you probably would save it in some location that is, a template folder. I'm just going to save it in here where I have the rest of my files here, so we can take a look at it. So I'm going to save that, and if we go over and click on our data pane, you will see here's our template. But the way it works with those templates is that now, if I go and say I want to create a new drawing from a design, and I can go over here and can say from scratch, that will place it on the drawing we originally started out with. Or we can select here now our new drawing template, hit OK to that. And it will now open up and place that guitar stool on our template here, and you can see in the lower left there is our notes. You can see that our stool comes in the different views, and we have a part list over here. Now normally you probably will go in here now and maybe move some things around. We can still right click, edit a view. We could make this shaded if we wanted to. We could move some balloons around, but that's what a drawing template does. And like anybody who works with drawings on a regular basis might want to consider, setting up a couple of different templates. You could have a template for, something like this. That could be an assembly drawing. It could be one for inspection sheets for going to the shop floor, something that goes to the customer, internal, external, something like that. You can create as many of these different templates as you want. All right. So the new thing was this new drawing templates. Moving on. Let's close out of this. We'll leave it. We'll go back to it if we need it. Let's go back to our assembly here. What I normally would do, though, this is okay, but I probably want an exploded view of this. And we can do that in Fusion by going to our animation workspace here. Click on animation. And I have made videos on animation before. I'm not going to do that here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this cursor and move it over on the red curtains, or what I thought was a cupcake, until somebody corrected me. Let me minimize the animation here. So we have our assembly here in the animation workspace. If I select the whole assembly, I could select auto exploded all levels. And I want to click on this, and it's probably going to take 20-30 seconds to actually calculate it out. But pretty much what Fusion does in an automated explode is that it's going to take this part, and it's going to find all the parts within it, and it's going to explode it in a way, that you might want. All right, and I just speed it forward like 30 seconds here, so you didn't have to sit and look at this. But you can see you get this little explosion scale where you can do this here, and you can kind of create your exploded view. But this is probably not exactly what I want on a drawing. So you can do it manually too. So let's do that, because that's maybe a little bit more fun. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to place it somewhere around here. I'm probably going to move it around a little. That's okay. What we can do is we can go and we can select the seat, black seat there. Then we can click the move, and we get the handles. And now we can just kind of like drag everything we want. So I might just select these two legs here. And this is all preference, right? Like this is whatever you want, whatever you think, however you think this should look like. And we probably have different opinions. What I'm actually going to do is this leg block here, I'm going to move that one down there. But then I'm probably just going to hide the remaining. Hold down Control, select the remaining. I'm just going to hide those out of my assembly. I can always put like ×4 on one of these parts. Probably I'm going to do that with some of these screws also. So I'm selecting this set of screws here. Maybe I'll leave those free. Select those and hide those. So they are hidden. And there's also some screws over here. I'm going to hide those for the bracket there and the seat. So I'm really just getting one screw of each one I have. And then I can kind of going back here and maybe just edit those here. Like that. Let's go and find that other screw. And if you don't like where this origin is compared to the screw, you can always reset it over here, and it will snap to your part like that. If you wanted to have a little bit more control, maybe I go back to this screw here, move it up there. I actually think I want to take the legs, these two legs here. I'll move them down a little bit more, and then I want to take the ring, 3 washers, I move that up, and then finally I'm going to grab these 3 washers here, or the screw and the washer, and move that out. I think I like this as an exploded view. You might disagree. That's okay. I'm going to hit OK to that. And then, oh, hang on, I don't like where there we go. I think I like this. So now I could go ahead and instead of doing drawing from design, I can now do drawing from animation. Like that. And then I will be presented with the same thing we had before. We could use our templates, or let me just show what it looks like if we use it from scratch. Then it will kind of be how we started out with the template here. Let that come in there. And we get this view here. And of course, we can change all these views. I'm going to make it shaded. Hit OK. We could have changed all this, whatever we kind of want. We could have created custom views. At this point, I probably would insert a table, right? So we get all the balloons. You can line all the balloons up. You can move the balloons around, reorder things, organize it, whatever kind you want. But I think it's important that you know that we can go ahead. We can kind of create these assemblies like this. That brings me to the title block here. So what's new is the title block manager. So you will see right now, I'll zoom in on it, that right now the title block I've pulled in, this is sheet 101, this is Lars Christensen on this date, and this is the name of the assembly. If you right click on it, if you select it and you right click on it, hang on. There we go, select it. Then you can actually edit this title block now pretty easily from here. Go in and you can kind of see all those call outs that it could pull out if we had filled it out in our property document for this. And I want to show you an example on that up on the part list. But you can notice you have like sketch tools in here. So if you wanted to add something to this, you could do that. Right, so you could add text in here, for example. Another thing that I worked on that is new is it's easier to insert logos. So you could pull that logo from one of your projects, but you can actually also insert it directly from your computer. So if I go in here, I actually got this image here. I am just gonna let computer catch up. So we can scale that like that, and then we can move it -50 maybe, -30, and -25. You could adjust that whatever you want, rotate it. Okay, never mind. Am I the only one who sometimes get hung in the details? So know that is a pretty easy job to go in and modify this. So just make sure you select it, right click, and you can now edit the title block. You can create a new title block in here. So this is a new, easier way to manage that. I talked about these properties in here. That is also the same thing if you're looking over here. So you will see that the material over here is all steel except the black leather seat. It has a leather weather in here. This is actually part of your document. So if we go in and we look at this bottom down here, is number 6, that's the leg block up here. If we go in and we open that part up by itself as a part, this is what I modeled up to make that. In the bodies, if you right click, you can actually change the physical material. Now by default in Fusion, this is always steel, but you could go in here and find another type of plastic in here that you want. I don't know what plastic, rubber black. I don't know. I don't know enough about what these legs would be made out of, to be honest. LPC plastic, probably not. I'm going to bring that up there. Hit OK. I'm going to save it and say added material like that. And then if we go into our assembly, we will see, I'm in animation view, so I'm just going to go to the design view, that we can update that. And then also when we go into our drawing in here, we will be, I'll have to save my assembly. Go into our drawing here. You will see we also get this updated. So you will see that number 6, what is the leg block, will be updated to be that plastic over here when I click that update. 3, 2, 1, LPC plastic. So just know that these things are kind of like synced up like this. Now, what I normally probably would do at this point is I would have multiple sheets as I'm breaking down this assembly. So I might go ahead and say add another sheet and insert another base view. And then I would probably break down the model. So let's take that seat bearing. I can right click on that and say suppress all except that one. And then you will see that I now have a drawing sheet with just that bearing. I could now start creating, my different drawing views from that. But another way to do this that is pretty cool is a new function called visible only. If I go back to my main assembly and I take that seat bearing, I right click and I do isolate. If I go up now to create a drawing from design like we've done before, notice that there's an option over here. You can select the full assembly. That's what we had before. But now it's visible only, and it would actually create a drawing only of this, only of our assembly bearing here. So this is a super nice way, I think, to kind of break down, if you want to create different drawings for your assembled parts, is to use that visible only. So that's new. Another thing we can do that is kind of neat is if we're going to do a detail view, select the detail view, and I'm going to make that 1 by 1. Okay. Maybe not there. What you will see is it places an A here because that's drawing standards. But now you can actually modify that over here. So if you have something else you want to call that A1, you can do that and it will resemble that. So renaming a view is new. Another thing that is new is if you go into a section view, and let's do a section view here, and just snap into here, down to here, and hit OK to that. Place this section view over here. Be aware of that now we can choose the depth. So we can say full, that is a standard. We can say slice, and you will see that this now is going to slice down to kind of like that section. But there is also now a distance. And the distance will give you a distance you can set. And you actually get this, bar, black bar here, that will snap into wherever you're placing that depth, and will update this. So and that actually snaps to different areas of your drawing here. So if wherever you kind of choose you want to set it, it's going to snap it to that place. So section view depth is a new function. Kind of cool. All right. Another thing, it's going to add a dimension. This is probably one of my favorites. It's going to place this dimension here up underneath the document settings. They have now placed all these different options in here. One of them is dimension units, and you can go here and you can edit that. And that will give you the dimension unit dialog box, I think, if you select it. And some of the things in here is you can, for example, display dimension units. That's kind of nice. Click on that, and it will give you millimeters. Click on it again. You can also do trailing zeros. That's kind of good. My favorite, because I always do this, is you can also change the units in here. Then you probably want more than 2 trailing units if you go into inches, and it will show up there. That is definitely one of my favorites. And the second to last thing I want to show is, if you haven't noticed, there is now also sketch tools in drawings. So we can actually go over here and we can start. This is kind of handy if you're gonna create some kind of your own leaders or boxes or type of commands. You can place those in here. Again, we can type in these different things in here and work with that. So in the sketch, and you can do that. So that is nice too, that we now have these options to draw things in. In a perfect world, you would never need to sketch in a drawing, but it's hard to find the perfect world, right? Last thing that I think is nice here is also, if you right click on a view, there's some new output options down here. So you can output, for example, DWG. You now get an option if you want to do it as an AutoCAD DWG or a simplified DWG. Some new things in there. So hand in hand, I think we are up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things that the drawing team have added in there. That's it for this one. 8 new things from drawings, and I know that there is more coming. So, if you like this, thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay. Give it a thumbs down. Leave me a comment. And until the next time, I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. Take care, folks.